For this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make tassels. And it's actually really fun. This is a lesson that I think is really cool. And I'm going to like just give you some tips and tricks. You can you can make tassels with just about anything. Right here, I'm going to use this Chinese knotting cord. And see, the thing is when you make the tassel, it's just like it's literally like making a multi-strand where you just wrap around like two pegs. But the thing is, if you want to make like let's say you just want to make one tassel. Let's say you want it to be 4 inches long. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. And what you do is I'm just going to put a knot on this end. You want to start on one end and finish on the same end because with all the like strings of the tassels, you don't want one that's like where you could pull it out because it'll just pop off. So what you do is you just wrap. Let me put this here. You just wrap as many times as you want. But a tip that I have is because you'll be wrapping for quite a while, but let's say you have like 3 or 4 spools of the same colored thread. You can like do them like all at the same time. Like here, I'll show you. Let's just say I'm going to make a tassel with the Eslon. And it's so cool because it makes it go by 4 times faster because when the cord is thin and you're wrapping, it's going to kind of take a long time. So you know what? Let's do it this way. Even though I just really love this color. So you take all 4 of the. Let's get all 4 here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'm gonna put an overhand knot right there. I'm gonna clip it in. And then see how you could just wrap with all 4 spools. So that way it just goes a lot faster. So you just wrap until you get to the thickness that you want. And a couple of things, I have found that the amount of time it takes to make just one tassel, because you put your finishing knot here, then you come over here and you cut it. But you might as well make 2 because it's not that much more time. So what I do for 2 is a little bit different. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's go 8. Okay. So since you're going to be cutting it in the middle, you need to start in the middle. So I'm going to 1, 2, 3. Let me see. Maybe I should do. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm going to do 4.5. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4.5. So that's where I'm going to put my clip. And let's see what we got here. So you're going to start a little bit longer, about like that. Okay, and then you come in here and then you wrap. And I'll just keep going until I get like the perfect like thickness. That's a nice thing about tassels. You can make them long and thin. You can make them thick and fluffy. It's like there's no end to what you can do with the tassels. And honestly, depending on the stringing material that you use, it just makes such a huge difference in the way they end up looking. So let's see. Let me see. I think that's good. So remember I said you have to start here, end here. So you need to make it a little bit longer because when you come to cut, you don't want any of the strands to like be uneven. And you could like fix all that when you go back to trim the ends. I'm going to clip this here. And then over here, I think I'm going to do I think a macrame binding knot. And I'm going to use, for this one, I'm going to use waxed cord. This is the waxed jewelry cord 0.5. I like it because it has a really good grip. So when I tie it on, it's going to have a good, like, solid grip to it. So you come in here and you do a macrame binding knot. So there's a top, and it'll like pop open a little bit, but when you come in to do the second one, it'll like tighten it down. So it's top, bottom, and you can get really creative here. You can like slide beads on the outside if you want. Should I do that? Nah, I'm gonna try to keep this simple because, guys, I can go down the rabbit hole when it comes to like any of these like techniques, because my lessons could like literally be like hours long. And I just want to make this one simple so you can see how this is done. It's basically pretty much the same as making like a multi-strand like bracelet or necklace, but you're just like starting in the like the middle. And then you take your thread zapper, tap tap. And then we're going to do exactly the same thing on the other side. You just turn this around and you put a macrame binding knot on this side. So let's do that. You know what? I don't think we need this part in here anymore. And I'm going to show you another, after I finish this one, there's another tip that I have, because when you have to like put it into a tassel cap like this, you do it different. And I think you'll like it too. That one's actually a really good, that one's a good one. So there's top, bottom, top. And you can glue these in, actually, you know what? I should do that. Okay, if you are going to, let me take this off. If you're going to glue it inside, like a, because some tassel caps you could like put glue inside and then glue them. So if you're going to glue it, what you do is this. Let me take this off so I can show you that. It's a cool tip. I'm going to take, let me see. I'm going to do this very carefully. Okay, perfect. So if you are going to glue it into something, you don't want a loop right in there. So what you do is you take like a thin cord. We'll take this, and then you put it inside the loop at the end there. And then you want to hold this as like straight as possible, and then manually like pull the peg up, because you don't want it to get like out of alignment. So you just kind of tap it, and then you take a a clip, and just clip it right just like that. So that way you can come in like closer to the top without having a loop. So then let's do the macrame knot. The macrame binding knot on that. One thing about the binding knot, it really helps like hold like really, really well. Okay, so I'm going to come in here and I'm going to go really, really close. And I'll give you a couple of tips. You'll see in a minute the tip that I have, so that you get your tassels just right. Because one thing that when I'm making like a tassel with one of these guys, I like it to be, I don't like when you go like this and then you see all this space in there. I like it to be nice and like tight, and I think it just looks so much better. So I'm going to finish that one there and get my thread zapper. And Okay. And then what you do now is you come back and you cut it like right in the middle. Let's take all this stuff off. Let's take this out of the clip. See, right? You know, if you're making like one tassel, you might as well make two. And then you cut it like right in the middle. So there you have your beautiful tassel. Ooh, I like green. And then on this one, what you would do is you'd put like either one glue that works really, really well for that, honestly, is the E6000 epoxy, not super glue or anything. So if you have like a, you know, a cap and you need to get it in to glue it, that's probably the best glue to do it with. And now I'm going to show you the this way, how to get the tassel cap thickness just right. So you will need a caliper. Let me get this one. So you need to measure the inside of um, your tassel cap. I had one here. There it is. So this one is, let's see, I'm going to go with millimeters. So this is 9 millimeters. Okay. So what you do here is I want it to be, because now this one is going to be different in that we're going to make the tassel thingy, but we're going to like pull it into the tassel cap, but from the middle. So this one, let me get, let me see if I have some extra. You know what? I'll just use this. I was going to make it like extra long, but no need. But when you do it this way, you need to start like on one end, and then let's see, I'm going to go, I want this one to be 4 inches, so it's going to be 8. Excuse me. Okay, so they're here. Okay, let me get all these. And let's tie these into a overhand knot. Excuse me. I'm going to wrap going this way. So what you do is you're going to wrap until this thickness is 4.5 millimeters, because it has to be half the thickness of the tassel cap. These tassels, excuse me, oh my goodness. Okay, let's measure it. And what you do is you take a scrap of cord, just kind of like make it like tight, because that'll give you the like the size of the okay, that says 6. That might be a little bit too big, but since it's squishy, I can squish it down to 4. So I'm gonna go with that because remember it's gonna squish. So what you do at this point, you take your tassel cap, and the cord that you use to like pop it through, it could be wire, because sometimes I use like wire, sometimes I use like thread, just depending on the design. So let me see. I'm gonna what color should I use? I'm gonna use this only because I have it handy. I mean, you know what? It doesn't exactly match, but that's okay. So I just want to show you how, of course, you know, this part would be, you know, longer. You could put like a triple if you're going to do a braid. So it just, you know, all depends on like what your goal is. So I'm going to put this in here. I'm going to put the tassel cap in. And now you got to get this part centered. So this was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So right at 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, right there. So I'm going to scoot this over. I'm going to put this right here, and I'm going to push it. See that? With my fingers. Let's cut this. Now what you do is you pull it in. Beautiful. Look at that. Perfect. Oh, couldn't have come out any better. And then what you do is you come in and then you trim these ends. I mean, it's a little bit time consuming, but it's actually kind of fun. And you know, the nice thing is you get the tassel that you want. You know, if you get the color that you want, that's what makes it so cool. And you know, some of the different materials I've used deer suede lace, but the soft stuff. Don't use that really like thick stuff because it I don't know, it's just too thick. And also, if you see how the Eslon is kind of like curly, and that's because it's come off the spool, you can wet it and just like sit it out to dry, and it'll straighten up. So let's see. And then what I would do is like after it's like you wet it down and like let it dry, then come in and then like do the final like trimming on the ends so that it's like super straight. So because there's a lot of like stuff going on here. Look how cute that is. It came out perfect. Oh, and that is how you make the absolutely most perfect tassel in the world. Beautiful.